Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your chef with spicy potato buns. We'll start with the dough first and later on with the filling. For the dough, here are the ingredients. 250 grams of all-purpose flour or maida, 100 milliliters of warm milk and 100 milliliters of lukewarm water, 20 grams of salted butter. Let's melt this. We'll take 20 grams of castor sugar, 3 grams of dry yeast, half a teaspoon of sesame seeds and half a teaspoon of cooking oil. We'll first activate the yeast. For this, we'll mix the water along with the castor sugar. Remember, the water is not too hot and not at room temperature, it's lukewarm. So if you insert the finger, your finger shouldn't burn. To this, you add yeast. Active dry yeast loves to eat the sugar. So when you mix it gently and keep it aside for a while, like 3 to 4 minutes, the yeast will get activated. So until then, let's mix the flour with the warm milk. 250 grams of flour. In the center, let's make a hole and gradually add the milk as we sift and mix the flour along with the milk. Now here, we don't want to mix and knead this dough. We just need to make sure that the milk mixes along with the flour, and that is all we want right now with very gentle hands. So do not apply too much effort, just mix it and you're done. Some of you clamp it in between your fist and press it too hard this way when kneading it. Don't do that. We don't need that right now. Once you're done with this, in the meanwhile your yeast has been activated. Let's add the yeast here, and now we will knead this into a very fine dough. We want to prepare a very soft, mushy, gooey dough for our buns to be soft and delicious. So keep kneading this well. In the beginning it will be very elastic. Don't get carried away and try to add some dry flour. Just take your time, keep kneading it nicely, and I promise after a while, if you have used the ingredients in the right manner, then you will receive a dough which is of this consistency. Still it's elastic but less than before. If your hands start sticking this way and become gooey, do not wash them with water, but rather take a little bit of flour on your hand and just try to wash your hands together like you rub it, and in no time you will see that the elastic is out of your hands and your hands are pretty clean. So you learned something easy today, isn't it? Now friends, the dough is not yet done. I'll dust some flour on my hands, my right hand complete and my left hand only on the fingers, because I'm going to knead with my right hand with the bottom part of my fist by pushing it and pulling it with my fingers towards me. And the left hand, I'm going to use it only like a claw to hold the dough so that it doesn't go forward. That's what we want right now. So let's start kneading this. The more you knead it, the more gluten is going to release, and the dough is going to be really elastic, and your buns are going to turn out to be very soft and mushy. That's what you want. So the proper kneading is hold it with the left, push it with the right, pull it with the fingers, and keep repeating this for a long time. So at least for 5 to 7 minutes now, knead this. Kneading is an important aspect. It differs for pizza dough, buns, pain, croissant, cookies, and everything that you can make with dough. So if you follow the mechanism that I've shown you, your buns will turn out to be really soft and mushy. Once you receive a ball like this, grab a little oil, smear it on top of your hands, and hence on top of this ball, so that when this ball is kept for resting for another 20 minutes now, under a humid environment, it rises to be double, and there shouldn't be any cracks at the top. So just a little bit of oil at the top helps. Now to a glass bowl or a steel bowl, I'll smear a little bit of oil in the inside and then keep this ball so that it doesn't stick and helps rise evenly. Cover this with a damp cloth or with a cling film and leave it to rest for 20 minutes at a humid, warm place. In the meanwhile, I'm going to clean my work environment. It's been 20 minutes now, and after 20 minutes it looks double in size like this. Excellent. Now we will punch it, retrieve the amount of air inside, dust a little flour on the surface and knead it again, but this time only for a minute, not much. This is being done just to get this into shape and also remove the excess air inside. Now each ball that you're going to make is going to be approximately around 55 to 60 grams. So when I measured my ball, the dough came out to be approximately around 476 grams. So when I divided this by 8, I got 60 grams of each ball. Squeeze your fingers in and your thumb towards the inside, tickle it. Rotate it nicely and you will receive a ball this way. Shape all of them into balls. Now rest them for 30 minutes for proofing, that is the second rise. In the meanwhile, while they proof for 30 minutes, let's prepare our filling. I have 2 boiled potatoes. These are large in size, as you can see, and I'm mashing them well. Apart from this, we have other ingredients here. We have 1 cup of finely chopped onions, a quarter teaspoon of haldi or turmeric, half a teaspoon of jeera or cumin, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes and 1 teaspoon of ginger garlic paste. To garnish, we also have cilantro, or as it's called in my country, coriander leaves, fresh. We'll take a pan, 2 tablespoons of oil. When it's warm, add in the cumin seeds. When they splutter, drop in the onions. At a low flame, saute them until they are translucent. Once they turn translucent, ginger garlic paste. Saute again for a minute. Remember, you're cooking at a low flame. Turmeric and salt. Salt according to taste. I added 1 teaspoon. Saute this well for a few seconds. Boiled potatoes. These potatoes, since they were very large in size, like 2 potatoes I've used, I offered them 5 whistles in the pressure cooker. Red chili flakes, mix it. You don't have to cook them for a long time because they're already boiled. You just have to mix them and cook them at a low flame for a minute, not much. And finally garnish them with some fresh coriander leaves. You're done. Keep it aside, let it cool down. In the meanwhile, let's go and grab, but I'll show you something. I'll show you from close how wonderful this looks, how beautiful this looks. The only thing that you can miss is the smell. I wish you could. It's very fresh, very rejuvenating and very promising. So we'll keep this aside and let it cool down. In the meanwhile, you can see our balls have bloated to be double in size. Now these balls, I'll sift a little flour on my palms and get them off the desk. I'll take one of them and squeeze them with my palm, and we'll use it later on, but right now I'll need to prepare the balls which I'll be pouring in deep inside here. So the potato stuffing is here. Make round small balls of them. I want around 8 balls. So I got approximately around 10 balls here. I'll keep them aside, and then the dough balls that we had prepared and rested for proofing, here they are. We have turned them flat. At the center we'll place our potato stuffing, and then cover this to make a pocket which engulfs the whole stuffing inside and comes out in the form of a potli, which you need to seal from the bottom gently. That's it. Now just a little gentle firm touch to just nurture it to create a wonderful ball. Squeeze, add the filling, cover it up, fold it into a nice potli formation. Looks really good. We have all our balls ready. I have taken a tray. To this I'm adding a silicone mat. If you don't have a silicone mat, take a brush, dip it in oil and just run it over on the tray. And once you grease the tray, only then you add these potato filled buns at the top. I'm gonna add in all those 8 buns. Try to leave a little bit space in between them so that they don't stick. Unfortunately, I had very little space on my tray, so I couldn't leave a lot of space between them. But try to leave a little space in between each bun if possible, otherwise no problem. I'm now pouring in a little bit of touch of milk at the top. This is called milk wash. This gives you a nice glaze. Cover this with a damp cloth. Damp cloth is nothing but a cloth which is washed nicely with some warm water and then covered. This gives a humid environment which offers a nice double rise in size to your potato buns. And as you can see, this wonderful big rise has occurred. Now once again, a final touch of milk wash at the top before they go into the oven. And at this time your oven should be steaming hot at 190 degrees centigrade preheated. So only when the oven is hot and piping warm, you will insert this tray into the oven. I'm sprinkling with garnishing the sesame seeds at the top. They look really delicious and amazing. So now goes this into the oven, 190 degrees centigrade, 25 minutes with both rods on. And after 25 minutes, we'll just brush this with some nice butter. That is the final glaze we are offering, a final shine. But don't eat it right away, it's very warm, and that's not the reason. It's not very soft. If you want this to be very soft, cover this with a dry cloth, let the warm air indulge into the oven's bun and come out piping soft bun out of this after 15 minutes of resting. Now when you eat this, it's going to be soft and tender like this, and the filling is rejuvenating, delicious and succulent for you.